Park Street. I traversed this area many a day in my younger years. I'm not going to tell you all the things I did. I said, come on, I will tell you all the things I did. Gossip on the bus. But if you notice, you'll see like a transition. This is a homeowner community. A number of teachers my teachers lived on these roads. Mr. King still lives there in that house. And then you'll transition into Jordan Park Housing Complex. This housing complex was rebuilt with Hope 6 funds. That was done while I was on City Council. It was a partnership between the City of St. Pete, Housing and Urban Development, which is a federally funded program, and other resources. And the intent at that time was to do what they call dispersed poverty. They always come up with these new lovely names. The housing complex, we call this the old project because this side was built first, not like they look now. And then on the right hand side, we call that the new project because it was built second and had typically 4 bedrooms and some had 2 bathrooms. Ooh, I hope we can make this one. Oh, if not, honey, we're going to back up because we don't want to hit that little car right there. Not that 370C. Ooh. So with the whole $6, the intent was to attempt to disperse the poverty. So it went from 420 units down to now about 321 units. All of the units here are multi-family, so they're 2, 3, and 4 bedrooms. They were given the porch perspective. If you've ever been to historic Kenwood, you see that it has that porch feel, that porch look. But the whole intent was really to move it away from looking like your traditional housing complex and have it look like apartments because quite frankly, everybody sometimes needs a little help. One of the things that they kept, and I'm so happy, we used to call this the main drag, but they kept the oak trees. And some people don't even notice it, but the oak trees actually line the park and go all the way up to 9th Avenue. The City of St. Pete's tree is the oak tree, and you have to get a special permit to cut them down. So who would want to cut down those lovely trees? But they left that area. And one of the components in Hope 6 said that we had to provide a family enrichment center. So that's a building that you can't see, but it's back on the far side where the residents can have meetings and different types of community events can occur there. And then of course the playground where they can have cookouts and grill if they want to, or just have things where the residents can come out and support one another. Some of you may have read that there is quite a lot of conversation because since the construction we have noticed that there have been unfortunately some substandard construction components to a lot of these units. There's been mold and mildew. These are where your students come from, and mold causes respiratory issues in children, highly asthmatic, COPD and other things. You also have elderly people who were living here and that can hurt them with their respiratory issues as well. So I am a part of that group because I grew up here. My family lived in 512 in the new project side, and then we moved to 195 on the old project side, and we didn't move.
Excuse me, do you want me to go left here, or do you want me to go to the next location?
Go to the next location. Okay. And so growing up here, I didn't move out until I was 21 years old. So this community is very special for me. And if we in fact believe that everyone deserves safe, clean, and affordable housing, then someone has to fight for the residents and make sure that they have exactly that clean, safe, and affordable housing.